finishing up. I was like, I got one more. I just wanted to do it real quick. He was like, all right, what is it? I was like, this girl. He was like, that's not right. He's like, no, she's really cool and all, but like, dude, does she know? I'm like, nah, it's gonna be perfect. She still drove me home afterwards, be like, it was great.
It obviously worked. I mean,
it
worked.
Do that. Seriously, do that shit. Like, meet somebody and be like, let's go hang out. Drive me to the fucking tattoo bar. I'll get your name tattooed on me right now. That's how fucking serious I am. Let's do it right now.
I mean, that is pretty much putting it out there. Pretty serious.
I don't fuck around.
No, that's good.
Do it now.
Did it ever occur to you that she makes me the nicest girl in the world and that she didn't, you know?
So you're the best thing.
What else am I gonna do?
Yeah. Yes. It's been 12 years of pity. No, I make her laugh. I think that's why she sticks around.
That usually helps. It's going to devolve into this. I apologize to anyone out there without children, and I take it back immediately because I don't care. Frankie has twin girls.
I do.
And I have twin girls, which allows us to say to anyone else who only has one kid, go fuck yourself. Because it's ridiculous. And when about a couple months before my girls were born, I ran into your wife at Idle Hands, and I was like, all right, okay, you need to tell me everything. And then you ran into my wife at a Fuse thing, and she asked this question. She said, all right, Steve wants to know, what's one thing that he'll need to know about having twins that most people don't understand? And do you remember what you said?
No, it's a blur.
It should be. You have twins, you don't remember anything.
No.
He said, at some point, and I guess this falls in line for anyone who has one kid, you're going to have to pee while wearing a baby Bjorn.
It's true. Not just pee.
Not just pee. That's heavy.
Wow. It's at that point it's survive. You know what I mean? Because like, how many diapers do you want to change at that moment? Like, how many pairs of shitty drawers can I change? Mine, yours, hers. Fuck. You're gonna do it. And yeah, you know, here's the thing: babies don't remember that. No baby remembers that. It's okay. And if they do, like, you know, if they do, you're like, I loved you that much.
You are so smart, you know?
I loved you that much that I wasn't gonna leave you alone. I did figure this out though. Like when we had a lot of kids, I realized that that our grandparents and our great grandparents like really love their kids, because like these days, you know, I love my kids. I wouldn't ever, you know, send them away in the forest or like murder them. But if you were to do that. If you wanted to do that, you would get caught like that. Like, there's CSI, there's Law and Order, like, you know, there's so much evidence of that stuff. Back then, people just fucking disappeared. Like, if you had too many kids, you'd be like, the flu took it. There was wolves and shit. Like,
You know, we just left the kid in the fucking woods.
but the fact that, like, everybody has grandparents, and they have parents, and your parents are still around, means it's like someone loved them that much. They couldn't get rid of them.
Hey.
Think about that.
So much I kept you alive.
Well, we were actually talking the other day about our I mentioned my daughter taking a shit, where she's 15 months old, and she sometimes like mostly saves it for my wife and for the grandmas and whoever else is there, but she like takes pity on me sometimes. But when she gives it to me, it is like a man shit. And she's this little thing, like this little baby 15-month-old, and it's a man, and it's like a man who drank NyQuil. Like, it's green and it fucking sticks to her ass. And I'm trying, and then she does the gator death rolls. Like she's like, you're trying to clean her, and then she's and those of you who have kids know, and you're holding one leg, but she's still spinning, and you're like, how? I have your leg, but you had the best name for what you call those shits for your kids.
Yeah, well, it smells like an old evil. As,
like actual, like Lord of the Rings old evil. Like that kind of like bowels. No, yeah.
The last piece of the Horcrux. I know her.
You're such a nerd.
Yeah, I call it Beelzebub.
Yeah.
isn't a nickname for.
Which I still think would be a great
We're working on it.
animated show. Yeah, we're gonna work on it. Yeah.
I had to cut a kid out, like cut the onesie around it because the shit was too much. I was like, we gotta sacrifice the Clorox.
Oh, God.
I've been thinking about using Clorox wipes. So, because it's gotten to that point. My son now, he does this thing where, and the girls never really did this, but he does this thing like when you get his legs up, he's like, oh man, one day he's gonna hear this at some point. Like, 'cause the internet's forever.
Yeah, it'll be forever. Yeah, this will be forever. So make sure.
He
Yeah.
does this thing where like,
Be right at the forefront of all the news when you see it.
well, I don't know how he does it because I think his arms are longer than the girls' arms, but like he reaches around and like grabs his shitty balls. And then there's shit hands and it's fucking horrible, man.
Oh my God.
So Jonah, how'd that the vasectomy? You got it last week.
I'm gonna get it straight after the so do you dress your kid up in like Dead Kennedy shirts and stuff?
Oh,
I feel like I see a lot of that now.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, right?
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
weird.
I totally
I feel like
agree.
it's like putting your stuff on like. He doesn't know who the Dead Kennedys are.
My girls know who the Ramones are, though. And, like, that's the thing is I only dress them in stuff that they actually like. Like the Police, I had to throw that shirt away. They don't like the Police. The Ramones they love. Like my one girl Cherry will say like, "Hey yo, let's go," and you have to put it on the radio, and they dance and stuff.
Yeah.
Way into Morrissey,
That's great.
Smith and stuff.
Good.
But yeah, they don't like other stuff. So I don't dress them in that. That's where I draw the line, I guess.
I don't have any like Sting onesies.
Yeah, no.
That's good. That's good.
Dream of the Blue Turtles, come on.
That's why you didn't kill him, because of the Ramones.
My daughter, as I said, my daughter loves Mike Patton. I can't find any like Phantomos baby shit or like any like Faith No More baby tees. There's
You're
nothing.
gonna have to burn a screen in your basement.
I don't have to do that, yeah.
The only kid at preschool with the Mr. Bungle one.
That would be
That would
my
be a
daughter.
good one.
There'll be one of the dad going, right on.
Yeah, there's one cool dad.
You want to hang out? I think we just
Yeah,
did.
I'd want to hang out with would be those guys.
So we have on the podcast in the studio a young gentleman named James DeWeese,
Oh yeah, I love
one of our all-time favorite people. And you guys are working on a new band. And
Yeah.
is it just the two of you? Is it only going to be the two of you? Is it going to branch out?
I don't know. Right now it's just us, and we like it that way because we agree mostly on stuff. so that's really fun, and it's easy to get in touch with like one guy as opposed to four, But but
Yes.
yeah, it's just simplicity. I also thought it would be really fun to be able to tour in a Prius. Like I thought, like oh, fuck, man, we'll just bring a laptop in the car and we're going. We're hitting tour. Have you ever done that?
Toured in a Prius? No,
Yeah.
but I've driven one and they are very quiet.
There you go.
Oh, God.
So I thought that'd be really cool, but eventually I think I'd like to expand upon the live show a little bit. But we also thought, hey, wouldn't it be really fun if we just played everything? So I don't know. We're talking.
I think it's very smart. That dude is, he's one of the people who's like, what time is it? And then an hour later, like a gazillion stories have come out.
know. Yeah.
So when you drive in that Prius, do you get to speak?
No, I don't. Yeah, no, definitely not. No, I play Candy Crush in the back, and I'm like, no way. You talk about like my favorite too is be like, hey, whatever happened that time you threw that bass drum out at the Colette show and hit that girl in the face, and I just go play. He tells that amazing story about it. I've heard it.
It's on the podcast.
As soon as I walked in, I was like, you have to tell that code because it was like I read about it in a zine, but I didn't know what was real. Yeah.
And then like kids like fought over the pieces of the drum that I think it shattered on her face or something. I don't know. It was, hey man.
I just love the way he leads
Fine.
into it. He's
Yeah,
like,
it's fine.
I don't know, I got really excited, so I picked up the bass drum and boom.
But he settled it too, like King Solomon. He was like, you take the hardware, you take the skin, you take the shattered. And like he evened the fight out, and the girl was fine, and everything was fine.
Was he a fun person to tour with? Is that like part of the
Always.
reason that it
Oh,
just
yeah.
kind of gelled that you're going to do your own thing?
Man, we ended up bunking together a lot when I was out in Los Angeles for a long time, and he made it sane. Like he bakes, he's really good at baking, and there's like always he makes this thing called dump cake, which is fucking
I can make that.
He makes soft pretzels too, which is really good.
soft pretzels.
And he makes really great.
Of course you both the guy who made the cake and the soft
Yeah,
pretzels.
that's why you like
And he smokes constantly, or I don't know, I think he might be quitting, but he smokes constantly and then has these candles that smell like gingerbread. So it's great. And then one day I walked in and he had all these plants up and it was like very, I don't know, like Jungle Book.
Sounds wonderful.
It was incredible. It was like every day is like this new fantasy world. Like Dune posters and he's playing like Lord of the Rings, like the really old Lord of the Rings video game. It's like like the first one that ever came out. Yeah, he loves it. It's great.
Look at his
I now want to form a band with him.
I'm
Yeah, I
telling
think
you,
so.
you can't have him.
He belongs to me. So then what's going on with Leathermouth?
Actually, you know, we got together to do that one show for Skate and Surf, and the practices were so much fun that we were like, maybe we'll do a couple more shows. So I don't know. There's a guy named Chris back here that I don't know if we're not allowed to talk about it yet, but maybe soon there'll be a couple of shows announced.
All right.
I know. It would have been great to promote it on the podcast.
Wouldn't it? And now the question about how on earth do you keep your voice that way in Leathermouth?
Oh man.
That's a screech from. That's a Beelzebub screech. That's like from the depth. That's an old evil.
That is it. I did that record in my basement. We recorded it in like the music in my friend's basement, and then in my basement I had this. It was this weird board that I don't even think they make anymore. Like you couldn't even get it off. Like I had to send the board away to get the music off. It was ridiculous. So I had to like hit play and then run over to this microphone. And at this time,
Can we talk about that? No, I'm just kidding.
Microphone, Brad. What?
But yeah, like at times if you really turn it up, you can hear dogs barking in the background and like weird shit like that. Like it's just my house.
Like a
Sounds-
K-9 record.
Yeah, I should bring my wife up here and talk
Nerds.
about what that sounded like upstairs of me just going.
But then did you, like, I'm fascinated by vocals who do this, that they can do that screech and then stop and then have a normal speaking voice, they're fine. Because I've done punk rock karaoke a couple of times and sang in what I thought was a normal speaking voice. Yeah, I'm cool.
You should do that.
Brian fucking Baker was playing when I did it, god damn it. Who cares? Synergy. Figure that out. And afterwards, I couldn't talk for like a day, like super raspy and all that. Like, how do you get the muscles to take notes?
Yeah, I don't know.
We have that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking do it, man. Don't be a pussy about it.
Burn of the night, ladies and gentlemen.
No, like you gotta. I feel like once I break my voice, then like 2 days later, I'm good to go for a while. I don't know. When I was in like other young hardcore bands, when I was like in high school and stuff like that, I used to scream into a pillow and like break it the night before, and then before the show the next day. I don't know why that worked for me, but it did.
I think that makes sense.
I probably have like if you open my throat up, just nodules. Yeah.
It works though.
Works for me. I wouldn't recommend that for anyone else. I don't know.
So you're gonna scream later for us?
No.
No. Good.
No.
No, I don't think the sound system
Yeah.
is taken. But you are gonna play a tune.
I am. I wrote a song. This is weird because like we were talking about how you guys have like acoustic acts and stuff like that. And I was like, I haven't really written an acoustic song or anything, so that wouldn't work.
Well, the way you said it was also like, man, if I write something, maybe I'll write something.
Yeah, but that was a joke. And then I ended up writing something on Wednesday, and I was like, I guess it's a sign. Maybe I should play something. But
I think so.
there's still time for me to chicken out.
There's always time for that, and we hope you don't. But thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Thank you.
Mary's gonna play. Thank you very much.